Falcon fans, welcome back. Falcon fans all over, far and wide, all over the world watching. And yes, I do have them watching all over the world. I have officially got fans from Denmark that has chimed in on the channel. Thank you for your support. Uh, didn't think that was going to happen. I just started doing this, so uh, however, today, y'all, I'm coming at you with a very enlightening content. Uh, is long awaiting. I think this is probably one of the most anticipated players coming into this season that everybody wanted to know how well he will perform. I think everybody pretty much wanted to know if he's going to be the guy that turns this offense around, not just this team, but the specifically the offense. Uh, and a lot of you guys that are fantasy football uh, gurus, a lot of you guys probably picked this guy up with the anticipation that this will be his year. Uh, but this week, y'all, my player of the week that I wanted to highlight was Kyle Anthony Pitts. Kyle Anthony Pitts. And I myself had a lot of hopes. I mean, a lot of hope for Kyle Pitts and was looking forward to him turning this offense around. Kirk Cousins has never had a tight end of this caliber. He's always had managed to uh, have decent receivers. Kirk Cousins has created receivers, but he has never had a tight end, and especially in an offense where he have prolific wide receivers, dominant running backs, and a standout tight end at once. At no point in his career has he ever had a team built like this, offensive wise, for Kirk Cousins. So, but that being said, Kyle Pitts was born October the 6th, 2000, and he's a 6'6", 50 pound tight end in the National Football League. He played college football for the Florida Gators, where he was named a unanimous All-American and won the John Mackey Award in 2020. Pitts was ultimately selected fourth overall by our Atlanta Falcons in 2021 draft, making him the highest drafted tight end in NFL history. Uh, I'm going to go on note too and say that I did not expect Terry Fontenot to draft Kyle Pitts, especially as high as he did. But he did so with reason. But as time went along, I actually kind of grew to support that decision. Uh, but it hasn't panned out the way I thought it would. I actually thought with a tight end such as Kyle Pitts that this offense, especially with Kirk Cousins, was actually going to take off. But that remains to be seen. But he was later named to the Pro Bowl as a rookie, the first at his position and to do so in 2 decades. And I'm sorry, y'all, I didn't do the research to see who was the first rookie to ever do it. I mean, the first tight end to ever do it. But if y'all can find that answer for me, put it down in that comment section and let me know who that player was. 'Cause I think he was the second to do. I mean, to be 1,000-yard rusher. No, he was the first to do it as a rookie. Kyle Pitts was the first to do it as a rookie, and the first to go to the Pro Bowl all in the same year. So, but I'll touch on that just a little bit more in just a little bit. But in his early life, Pitts attended Abington Senior High School in Abington, Pennsylvania, before transferring to Archbishop Catholic High School in Warminster, Pennsylvania in 2016. He played tight end and defensive end on the football team. Now I'm and that was disappointing. That was actually disappointing to read that he played defensive end. Because when you think defensive end, you think outside of that linebacker position, you think of a player that's probably one of the meanest players on the team. the roughest, toughest, meanest players on the team as a defensive end. And Kyle Pitts is not that. He is not mean. He's durable, but he's not tough. Um, and he's nowhere near mean. And I think I was looking forward to that part being a part of him being mean. When I say mean, I don't mean mean as an attitude. I mean mean as in play. Uh, a person like let's see, a perfect example, Travis Kelsey. That's mean. Uh, whether Travis is catching the ball or throwing a block, Travis Kelsey is going to do it as mean as he can, and he can block. And I expect that out of tight end. Out of our tight end, Kyle Pitts. And I know all tight ends can't be expected to perform the same way. However, when it comes to blocking, that is the very least I want my tight end to do, and that's to be able to block, especially on run plays. Uh, Kyle Pitts, he was a big guy that has the speed and movement of a big wide receiver as opposed to a tight end. He plays, and I hate to use the word soft, but Kyle Pitts does play kind of soft because, like I say, there's nothing mean about him. Especially after playing a defensive end position. Like I said, that mindset didn't follow him, and I wish it did. I wish it did. I really had the high hopes for Kyle Pitts to elevate not just himself, but elevate this team and this offense. I thought it was going Kyle Pitts. I thought he was going to actually separate our offense from other opposing defenses, but opposing offenses, and other teams would probably try to mimic us into drafting players or finding players as Kyle Pitts caliber. But it didn't work out like that. But anyway, Kyle Pitts played in the 2000 Under Armour All-American game. He committed to the University of Florida to play college ball. During his career in college, Pitts played in his first 11 games as a backup during his true freshman season at Florida. He finished the year with 3 receptions for 73 yards and a touchdown. In 2019, he took over the starting tight end spot. Pitts played in all 13 games of his sophomore season at Florida. That in 2019, he finished the year with 54 receptions for 649 yards, 5 touchdowns. Pitts earned first-team All-American Southeastern Conference for the season. But during that 2020 season, he was hindered by the COVID-19 pandemic. Pitts scored 12 touchdowns in 8 games while gaining 770 yards on 43 receptions. Again, he was named to the All-American and won the John Mackey Award as the most outstanding tight end in college football for the season. In 2001, Pitts was selected in the first round by the fourth overall by the Atlanta Falcons in 2021, making him the highest drafted tight end in NFL history. In his NFL debut, Pitts had 4 receptions for 31 yards and a 32-6 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think that was doing that week 1. In week 2, Pitts had 5 catches for 79 yards and a 25-48 loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. To bounce back in week 5 against the New York Jets at Tottenham Stadium, Pitts caught 9 passes for 119 yards and his first NFL touchdown in the 27-20 win against the Miami Dolphins. Pitts finished with 163 receiving yards as the Falcons won 30-28. His 163 receiving yards, that set a record for an Atlanta Falcons franchise record for receiving yards in a single game by a tight end. In week 6, if anybody can remind me, I didn't do the research on this, whose record did he break? 163 yards, franchise record for receiving yards in a single game by a tight end. And if I had to go out and guess, I'm going to say it's Tony Gonzalez, maybe Algie Crumpler. I'm gonna stick with Tony Gonzalez. But if anybody can find the right answer, please put it in that comment section, uh, and let me know who that tight end was. I'll probably do the research too as well. If nobody doesn't answer it, and put it in the comment section as well too. But if you know right off, go ahead and put it in that comment section. And let me know. But in week 16 against the Detroit Lions, Pitts had 6 receptions for 102 yards and a 20-16 win in that game. Pitts surpassed Tony Gonzalez for the Falcon franchise record for the most receiving yards in a single season by a tight end. Now that was the most receiving yards in a single season. That last little bit that I read was the uh, record for receiving yards in a single game. So it may be very well to Tony Gonzalez too as well. So, but like I said, y'all come in and let me know. In week 17 against the Buffalo Bills, Pitts joined Hall of Famer Mike Ditka as the only rookie tight end in NFL history to surpass 1,000 receiving yards. And this is why a lot of people, everyone just expected so much from Kyle Pitts. Not only was he showing off, I mean, he was doing his thing. 1,000 yards. That was unheard of for a tight end. So everyone set their expectation for him that he's going to revolutionize the tight end position. But he's had some injuries, he had some setbacks, some non-performances. So we're looking forward to him to bounce back and get back into that type of performance. But Pitts finished that season with 68 receptions for 1,026 yards and a touchdown. He was named to the 2022 Pro Bowl, making him the first rookie at his position to make the Pro Bowl since Jeremy Shockey in 2002. He was named to the 2021 PFWA All-Rookie Team. He was ranked 91st by his fellow players in the NFL Top 100 Players of 2022. During that 2022 season, against the Seattle Seahawks, Pitts had 5 receptions for 87 yards and a 27-23 win. Pitts was ruled out with a hamstring injury for week 5 against the Buccaneers. Pitts returned from injury in week 6 against the San Francisco 49ers and his first touchdown of the season. In week 10 against the Carolina Panthers, Pitts had 5 receptions for 80 yards and a touchdown and a 37-34 overtime win. That following week against the Chicago Bears, Pitts suffered a knee injury in the second half. He was placed on injured reserve the following day for a torn MCL. On November the 30th, 2022, Pitts was ruled out for the remainder of the season after having surgery to repair the MCL in his right knee. Pitts finished that season with 28 receptions for 356 yards and a touchdown. In the 2023 season, and everybody would like to forget this season, and he gets a pass for this season, y'all. But he had 53 receptions for 667 yards and 3 touchdowns, and everybody know why the performance numbers and everything went down. We all as Falcon fans would like to forget that 2023 season. So we're going to move on to the 2024 season, where the Falcons picked up his 5th option on the Pitts contract. I'm going to go on record and say this. I wish I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I had hoped that the Falcons was ready to move on from Kyle Pitts. This was year 4, so. And the expectations that we thought we were going to have with Kyle Pitts just seemed, for some reason, just not wasn't going to manifest. And I still don't think it's going to manifest. I mean, they may stick my foot in my mouth later on in the season this year, but I just don't think so. So like right now, this season should be a show about Kyle Pitts in the Falcons, not Kirk Cousins in the Falcons, not Bijan Robinson in the Falcons, not Tyler Algier in the Falcons, not Drake London in the Falcons. It should have been Kyle Pitts and the Falcons. For one main reason, Kyle Pitts in that slot or wherever he lines up and who's ever on him creates such a mismatch that is almost. I'm not gonna say it would be impossible to stop him, but more times than enough, Kyle Pitts would have came out on the winning end of any matchup. So that's just my personal opinion. I think that this season should have been that show, a world of a show from Kyle Pitts and Kirk Cousins, especially with the way Kirk Cousins likes to give up the ball. Now, as I say, distribute the ball. Kirk Cousins did go on record and admit that he has missed Kyle Pitts on several occasions and opted to throw to Darnell Mooney or throw to Drake London. Uh, However, with that being said, that's telling me that Kyle Pitts needs to go out and gain the confidence and the faith from Kirk Cousins on that football field. When Kirk Cousins drop back and go through his possession, it should be Drake London and then Kyle Pitts. But for some reason, it goes Drake London, Darnell Mooney, then Kyle Pitts. Like I said, this year should have been a show for Kyle Pitts, mainly because there are so many linebackers that are out there hurt, and so many corners that are out there hurt. Everybody's going to come in with a plug-in replacement to go up against Kyle Pitts. Initially, Kyle Pitts does create a mismatch against any team, against anybody. However, when you put in a second or third string up against a guy like Kyle Pitts, you would think and hope that we will come out on the winning end of that, and Kyle Pitts will get the numbers that he's accustomed to getting. But when you think of tight ends, I want Kyle Pitts. Had hope that Kyle Pitts will be in the same sentence as a George Kittle, as a Travis Kelce, Trey McBride, Cade Cotton, who we just played, who almost tore us a new one. Mark Andrews, Dalton Kincaid, Evan Ingram. Where Kyle Pitts placed among them, I think Kyle Pitts is number 8, which is not a bad spot, guys. Trust me, not a bad spot. However, with the advantage that Kyle Pitts has over these guys, I was expecting his stock to be higher than where it sits today. And that's why I was not opposed to the Atlanta Falcons trading him while his stock is still high, and teams looking for a slot receiver or a receiver / tight end. It just has not worked for us, guys. And like I said, I hope that going further into the season, starting with the Saints game on Sunday, that Kyle Pitts turned his things around, and it will solidify why we kept him on the squad and didn't trade him. So, like I said, I hope Kyle Pitts is able to turn it around. Against the last game against the Saints, he failed to catch any 3 passes in that win. Any of them, none. Whether it have been Kyle Pitts' fault, whether it have been Kirk Cousins' fault, either way, they just couldn't connect whatsoever. It was just another poor showing. But when you have a veteran quarterback like Kirk Cousins, and he's putting up great numbers, and this seems like Kirk Cousins is having a better rapport with Darnell Mooney than he does with Pitts. It seems like he's having a better rapport. He'd rather go to Ray McLeod than Kyle Pitts. It just seems that way. Now, like I said, Kirk Cousins did admit that he did miss Kyle on a few attempts, and Kirk has to feel like Kyle wants the ball, that he's going to take care of the ball once he get it. He's going to do what he needs to do once he gets thrown the ball. So a lot of it may have been on Kirk Cousins, but Kirk might not have felt that that confidence in Kyle to be that playmaker. So, but Cal did. He didn't have. He's not having a bad season. Didn't have a bad season. Uh, but Pitts finished third in receptions and receiving on yards in a passing night for the Falcons, and that's when we played against Tampa Bay. And he ended up being number 3, where he was mismatched up against, I think it was Devin White, and Devin White is not a bad linebacker, but he's no coverage guy. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's probably more to consistency about Kyle Pitts. Some games he have a world of a game, like the one he had, I think against was it Philly? But anyway, it was like 3 games where he had over 80 yards. And that needs to happen game after game. At least some type of consistency where Kirk can just drop back and his second or third read should be Kyle Pitts, if not the first. But his performance needs to increase. First and foremost, his blocking, playing tough and getting open. Like, take advantage of the mismatches that's created for him. Perfect game was that Dallas game, and a lot of you may or may not remember, but it was a prime opportunity for Kyle Pitts to take advantage of the mismatch. Whether he was lined up on the left side or the right side, it didn't matter. It was a mismatch either way. In that game, Cal only managed 1 long reception for 11 yards and a 27-21 win over the Cowboys. On a day when you lost your primary receiver, that was the game where Drake London went down. Kyle Pitts should have been either the primary target or number 2. And I mean, the tight end, he has been ranked among the best when it came to numbers. But getting on the same page with Kirk, I mean, it seems like it's more work than something that they should have worked on in the preseason, but it's just not gelling for some reason. But like I said, Cal did admit to being at fault for not looking for him more. But 1 catch for 11 yards for a caliber tight end like Kyle Pitts against a team that is so injury riddled across the board that his number should have been higher during that game. He should have been higher. Drake London went out. Kyle Pitts should have been a go-to receiver. But he brought in 7 of 9 targets for 65 yards, and that abysmal loss, heartbreak loss to the Seahawks on a couple of Sundays ago. Pitts led the Falcons in receiving yards and targets while tying a season high in catches. The gifted tight end appears to have found his groove in coordinator Zach Robinson. But the last 3 games, like I said, 65 receiving yards and brought in 17 of 22 targets in that span. Pitts should have been a key role, like I said earlier, especially when Drake London sits out a game or 2. It's always about next man up for whatever reason. And our remaining schedule, guys, Pitts has the grand opportunity to turn this thing around. The last few games that we have, we got Saints, of course, next week. Cal he should perform very well. The Broncos, the Chargers, then the Vikings, then the Raiders, the Giants, the Commanders, and finally the Carolina Panthers. Guys, this should be a breeze for Cal Pitts to get his numbers because they're moving kind of slow, but and step his game up. Like I said, it wasn't always on him. Kirk did admit it, like I said, but at the same time, it's up to you to make your quarterback want to throw you the ball. If he's uncomfortable with you catching or doing whatever, he's not going to throw you the ball. But as of today, Pitts was limited in practice due to a hamstring injury. But he'll get plenty more opportunities to to clean everything up and get this injury thing in check. Hopefully, it's not nothing that's lingering or lagging that's going to keep him from performing his best. But this game against the Saints this week, he should do very well. He should do very well because the Saints gave away their best, arguably their best defensive back, um, and Marshawn Lattimore. And I'm not saying that him and Cal were going to match up, but at the same time, the Saints are hurting. They are hurting. They gave away two very good receivers and a defensive player, and almost like they want to start rebuilding. It don't make sense. But guys, like I said before, I was not opposed to the idea of Cal being a part of some type of package where we go either and get a offensive lineman or free up some cap space to go get an offensive lineman as well as an edge or another edge rusher. But edge rusher, I'm going to bring that up in another content too as well to explain why I think the Falcons did not make a trade for the deadline. But guys, otherwise, this video was about Kyle Pitts and his ability, what he has accomplished this season, where it all started for him. And but if you like this video, guys, give it a thumbs up. Hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and help me to track my way up to 500, guys. I'm almost there. Just a couple more hundred votes, and I'm there. But guys, I thank you so much for the support. Like I said, the guys from Denmark, I appreciate you reaching out. It was nice talking to you, and hopefully we will link up and do some content together. And but guys, that's been my time. Tell me what you think about Kyle Pitts. What do you hope for Kyle Pitts? Do we keep him? I know we have that fifth year option on him, but do we keep him? Do we offer him up for trade bait? But guys, let me know what you think about him so far this year. What do you think about it? How has he been for some of you guys on that fantasy football? I don't play it myself, but has he worked out for you guys in fantasy football? But guys, get in the comment section and let me know. I will answer back. But that all being said, I'm signing off, and we'll see you next week. I'll see you at the game, rather. Yeah. No. I won't be traveling this year. So, but guys, I look forward to you coming, bring you some more content. Hit that notification bell. Let me know so that you'll be notified when I'm dropping it. I probably will be starting my podcast this year. I got to reach out to a couple of people that I want to get on there. But I'll be starting it. So look out for it. And as always, guys, always continue to rise up. Peace.